always wanting me to move along, but you know, I enjoy working with my dad. And I put this out in my my letter. It is Tom Senior, and it is myself who works for Australia, and that's just kind of where it's at. And obviously, we have the resources of all the other employees and all the other departments who help us. But it's truly him I go to every day, and we talk about what we need to do and where we need to go. He's super excited about this council. So with that, Dad, if you would like to get on and close this call for us, I think that would be awesome. I'm glad you're able to make it.
Well, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, well, you know, your hair needs a little work. And, your lipstick, you got some on your teeth, you know.
Yeah, start.
All right, well, I was just trying to help you a little bit. I'm supposed to train you in doing these things.
All right.
But, I want to say hello to everybody that's out there. I'm really excited to be on this meeting, and for the initial one where they have the foundation members of the council. That's a big step forward for us and for any other company. And Lisa is correct. She has got a real passion for what's going on down in Australia, because you're generating it. You're the ones that are doing it. So with me in my situation, I mean, I've sort of been there, done that with Australia. I went to Australia in, I think, 1989 or 88, but that early, and got started. And I remember the first meeting I ever went into up in Brisbane, and we'd been having some reasonable meetings, but around the country, United States places. We're in the United States and Canada, and then some Canadian wanted to go down to Australia and had some good connections, it seemed. And of course, we were new in the business, kind of naive at that time. So I went down, I came in, stayed at the hotel, got ready and walked over. And man, this huge conference room was completely full of wildly enthusiastic people. And I was so surprised, because I'd never really had a perception, other than perhaps like a tourist has, of the beauties of Australia. But it showed me how it was done, how the people were, and what kind of people they were. And so I dedicated myself to Australia. And I was going to Australia a couple of years ago, and I was telling a woman one that was it needed me to do something, and I can't remember what the specifics was, but I remember she said to me, well, you need to do it. Can we do it on this time? I said, no, I can't. I said, I've got to go to Australia. She said, oh, Australia. I've always been so excited. I'll bet you're just terribly excited to go there. And I said, well, I'm interested in going there, but I've been there 60 or 80 times. And she was so shocked. But there are not many people in business. Some have, a few, I think. But I've been down there 60 or 80 times. I used to go every 4 months or 3 months. So sometimes they go 4 times a year. And then do big tours and big conferences. And then we met in other places. We went away for some of the retreats. And so I got to know the, anyway, I'd like her to clean her room too, but she never seems to do that. But I found one thing. The Australian people are very driving and dynamic, and they have good values. And they're a lot like me. That they see something, they go right after it to get it solved, handled, and they understand that there's a cause and effect in building this business. So at one time I moved, and I lived down there for 3 or 4 months while we're really developing that. And then I bought the plant over for my previous company over in New Zealand, in Avondale by Auckland. And I went over there and lived for 3 or 4 months. So I have really been entrenched in that area, and with that comes strong feelings that highly motivate me, because this is a business of personal relationships, and that's what I like about it so much in this world where everything is getting to be so autonomous, and we see that with governments, we're meaningless things there. We're just, all we are is something that they can use, manipulate, get power. You look at medicine and big pharma. I mean, they're just pillaging us and our society. And they're not treating people. we're a commodity. Like muscle have a number with it because they use and abuse us for their own personal needs. And there are so many things that could be done that isn't done. But I find in network marketing, it's the epitome of free enterprise. Nothing else like it. And the dynamics of the people, and you can do things and you see it, how it builds lives. And so my purpose is, some people are saying, well, what are we going to do? When are you going to retire? I'm not planning on retiring. And well, you can't work forever. And I said, I don't know whether I can or not. I remember the story, Jack Benny, the comedian, when he was telling a story once about when he was walking down an alley, and of course, Jack Benny was a notorious tightwad. Some of you will know who he was. But anyway, a guy steps out the gun and says, give me your wallet or I'm going to kill you. And he stood there. The guy looked at him and he said, give me your gun or give me your wallet or I'm going to kill you. And he still didn't say anything. He said, what's the matter with you? Either you give me your wallet or I'm going to kill you. And Jack Benny says, just a minute, I'm thinking about it. And that's the same thing with me. I have the idea that I want to live forever. Strange feeling, but it's because not that I want to live forever. Well, I'm going to live forever, maybe, but my ultimate goal is to live as long as I can, be as healthy as I can, and do everything within my power to make people's lives better. So as I saw things were going along with Australia, we looked at this, and Australia got started by some distributors who were covertly sending products down into Australia without the company's knowledge. They were trying to get an unfair advantage over other people till we open the country. Till we'd open the country. Well, that caught up with them soon. But I saw there were so many distributors that had gotten involved that I decided to go in and open it. Reason I hadn't opened Australia is because I'd helped so many people there and had so many friends, and many people, I don't know how many millionaires we created in Australia, but hundreds of them, and then thousands that became financially free and successful and prosperous, tens of thousands perhaps with that, and they believed in the products and all that. So when I sold my old company, I didn't want to go to Australia because I didn't want to be involved in damaging the people's business, because I cared about them. I cared about them more than I did taking my company in or doing things like that. We got to the point where we went in. Now we're there. So as I see, we've had growing pains. Number one, because we didn't enter Australia like we would have with a regular rollout. And then there were some big changes. Technology has changed so much. Websites and all of the things that we have for communication and calculations with computers. What used to be very difficult now is very simple to do, but very complex to program. And so with all of those things, we've been working hard on it. But I saw the ups and downs, and sometimes when you get a lot of people involved in certain things, you get fragmented. And it's like the old saying that many cooks spoil the broth. And I could see some of that was happening here, and we tried to get a couple of country managers down there, and it didn't work out yet, which we probably will ship Liesl down there for the rest of her life. Before too long, we're thinking about that. But nonetheless, we just had to take this thing and run with it the best we could. But because of it, I'll tell you, nobody does the job better than you can do it, and you know that. And I feel the same thing. So I look at the organization here, and we have people like Aaron. He's come down a lot of times doing things, but I mean, he's our general manager. He has got so many things, and he's so far torn. Sometimes we forget that our objective, it's like the joke about it's hard to remember that your objective was to drain the swamp when you're up to your rear in alligators. And that's exactly what we sort of had here, because company was growing. We're expanding out in so many areas, adapting to the new technology. And Liesl was involved in this. I'd asked her to come in and take it because I had a special place for that. And of course, you can see how Tom and Thomas are there with it too. We're all involved in this, but I wanted to focus Liesl because she has that caring nature and that precision that she can follow through with things, and she will do that, as you know, with what it is. So we have really turned the corner. Lots of things are getting done, and now we're metamorphosing into where we're ready to blast out. You've already done a good job, and I really, as I looked over the members that were on our founders committee of council, I was impressed with the diversity and the ones, and I know everybody. So it's really a good feeling. And for me, I love this business because I like helping people and working with them. So the best is just begun. We've got growing pains, just like raising kids. I mean, if you knew how difficult it was to raise Liesl, but eventually you could get her to the point of where she was functional. And it's the same way with the company and distributors of sorts, but you've got to get them to where everything is going smoothly, it has purpose, direction, and that we have zero tolerance for a lot of things that are happening. And we've got a lot of recommendations from you. Australians, I've noticed, are very quick to give recommendations. And so as a result, we've been able to use those. And to Liesl and I meet on Australia, that's all she does, is doesn't do much at home for herself. But down here, that's all she does. And she's totally dedicated to you. And we meet every single day in Australia. I don't do that in any other country that's around. Of course, New Zealand's in the mix too, although we're going to expand out there more. But I wanted her solely dedicated to this. I wanted her reporting only to me, and all the other things, as Liesl mentioned, are subordinate to us, the different people, the different positions and the departments and everything. But Liesl is the man, sort of. And she's the one where the buck stops. And with me, I'm there to give her the strength, the reinforcement, and the dedication that I have towards you, because I believe we're going to build something very big together that's here. You look at the dynamics and the products, you look at, now I've got the compensation plan going. We're going to do a little tweak that'll have a big effect to you. And Keith gave us that suggestion. And I, oh, geez, was this happening? And it comes from the field. But that kind of thing is appreciated because sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's that slipped through. So we want to do everything we can to make you as successful as possible, to make it as dynamic and fun and easy to accomplish all of those things. And I believe we're now really there. If you give us where we're at right now is significant, even where we were 6 months ago. Give us the next 6 months. Incrementally, we're going to get right there to the top to where it'll be a dream come true. And some of the dynamics, if we could find out what to do with the TGA, we'd come down with more things. But we're working aggressively, and I know you're all interested in it, in CBD. And we think we're getting to the point where, of course, it's a legal issue. The government makes it illegal to sell a cannabis product down there, but there's about 30 different types of cannabis that's there, and some of them, as THC is the ingredient that's hallucinogenic or has a psychological effect on people and affects the brains from developing properly. But okay, there's a varieties that don't have much of it, and virtually you can take, if there is, you can take most or virtually all of it out, and that's what we've done. So we've come through, we've got a pure full spectrum. And I look at this thing and I watched on Dr. Oz, I don't know if you see him down there or not, but on his program, they were talking about cannabis, medical marijuana, they call it. Well, the marijuana plant is broad. It's like saying there's apple trees. Well, how many different varieties of them are there? And they taste different. It's the same thing with this. So the one that we get from hemp root, and we use that, we take that extract and make it, it's pure. It doesn't have any psychological or psychological effects or physiological effects in a negative way. And Tom Jr. took this, and he's Mr. Hemp around here, and he's done a really great job on it, and it's got this down to where we're legally licensed. Only a few places in the United States are. And on Dr. Oz shows, it showed, they went through and they analyzed with one of the major research centers here in the country, and they found out over 85% of all of the products are be sold as CBD actually were not what they said they were. In some cases, they had none in it at all. They had it listed, but none. And everybody, there were only 3 brands they could find out of all they analyzed that came close to having what they said on their label. Well, we have exactly what it is. We do it right, and you folks know that. So we're working hard on getting that. Now, I'm taking a lot of time in this, and I know time is of the essence here, but I wanted to tell you that I'm working on, Lisa knows about it, and some of you may know about it. I'm going to develop a product first to come out in Australia. Now, I know I've heard a lot over the years, and I understand how you're feeling. Oh, people get it before Australia does. But you know, your TGA is like pulling teeth to get anything through or done. But we've got this set up in New Zealand so that we can do some things. However, CBD is banned there too. It's got the same thing. So those things we'll work on and others. But I've got some really red hot products. H-Bill's the greatest product in the history of human health. No doubt about that with it. And I'm going to bring out a product called Da Bomb, and it's a small d, capital B-O-M-B. And when you see what that does along with the H-Bill, you'll say, holy cow, I'm on the road to immortality. And you will be too with TSX and Brain Vitality. You put those things together, the total becomes greater than the sum of the parts. So we're going to work on all that. But I'm making a product specially for Australia first. And that product will, when you get older, if you look at the side of Lisa's eyes, you see some crow's feet there, and then you see the frown lines and all of that, have the crepe skin, all those kinds of things. And what happens as you age, you get, there's actually what they call an epigenetic response to environmental damage on the skin, on the face. And what it does is it turns on the aging gene. Now that's something that was incomprehensible, and I didn't even think about it, but suddenly the studies are coming up. They're finding it through some research they're doing. They didn't know why some of these compounds that they're working on would do this, and they determined there was an age gene, an age switch that was turned on. And so now it's went, and nobody's doing it at all in the world, but I've seen the research I'm doing, and I'm getting it ready, and you'll be able to have a pen-like product that you'll be able to put on in areas like that, and it will actually turn off the age gene. So it'll turn off, and you'll see big improvements in your skin. And when we do that with some new improvements we have on transfusium, I'm seriously considering, because the studies and everything that I have in there, I'm quite confident you'll see a visible change in your skin in 14 days. That's quite remarkable, so that you can see it. So I don't think anyone's done anything like this, but haven't made the decision yet, but I'm going to do a little testing with it, but I'm working on it right now. But I'm actually thinking about try it. And if you don't see a visible change in 30 days, we give you your money back. It might not be a bad idea to try to start with that. So and that thing will be so dynamic, and things doesn't matter, the imperfections in your skin and discoloration and all of that. Then you put transfusion over it. Transfusion, the greatest product in skincare, and I'm going to put it like it's on steroids. We're going into warp drive with that thing to come on after it, and it'll recontour your face. And so as you recontour your face, and suddenly older skin becomes younger and imperfections go away, what do you got? You're a walking display of our products. You're a product of your product. Now, if we can make you live a lot longer, feel a lot more energetic, prevent the things that happen to other people because of what we don't use and the things that we do use, we've got a dream company. This is the perfect storm for MLM, and it's coming to pass. So I always go on far too long, but I wanted to let you know that you're not forgotten, and you know you're not, but it's just a matter of, you got to get things right. You got to get your ducks in a row. We got them right. We got our ducks in a row. Now we're putting them all out where we're supposed to be, and we're coming on hard, and we're counting on you. And in spite of all the things we have, as with our huge manufacturing plant, all the products we make, They're so spectacular. Our great compensation plan, you're the most important part of it. And we do everything for you. So Lisa and I and the rest of the team here at Sizzle who follow, but she and I are in the lead. Actually, she's in the lead and I'm right there behind her supporting her because of my intense desire to help Australia and New Zealand. So we're going to build this thing huge. I think we can be, we're almost about the biggest in Australia in my previous company before. And it kind of hurts when I see the building over here it is and how vacant their parking lots are getting to be with it. It's just, it takes that magic, it takes that dream, that desire, that creation, creative, innovative type personality and thinking. And I still got it together in spite of having raised Lisa through all these years. I'm ready to go. So we're coming on hard, folks. We need you to come on hard. And I know you're doing it. And I appreciate it so much. And I want to tell you how really appreciative I am and happy that we've got you on the council, because we do need you. And let's work together to make this the opportunity of a lifetime for hundreds of thousands, maybe even into the millions. Well, millions around the world. Maybe, who knows how close to a million we could get in Australia. But I think we could do a lot because we got the right stuff. Anyway, back to you, Lisa, and my best wishes to all of you.
Very good. Thanks, Dad. And I appreciate that. And truly, Dad's excitement and tenacity today is exactly how he is every day when we talk about it. He's just that excited. And I'm almost sure that he said, I take the lead, which means I am his boss. He said, even she is above me. If everyone agrees that they heard that, I am officially his boss. So, Dad, appreciate that. And the reality is we've got a lot, I didn't want to go too long, but anytime we're able to have Dad on here, then of course we want to take advantage of that. So we will announce a calendar. When I talk about a few of the different things that we're going to talk about, and I'll go through them very quickly because I know you guys have a day to get to, and I appreciate that. We've received a lot of feedback that despite Dad's being extremely rude to me through all the times we do product training, everyone loves it. And I got so many emails that said, please go through the products and have your dad, just go through them. We forget that many of our distributors have come on, through the years after we've come up with different products, and they weren't there for the launches. They weren't there for, all the product information that we put out with new products. And obviously, since you guys don't have any brochures, you guys don't have a lot of information, but you'll have those. But we're going to continue on the product training. We're going to be doing some great promos, some fun promos. I'd love a lot of input on that from you guys. And again, like I said, we'll be talking to the council about that, but with everyone about that, because these calls that we continue on will be a country call, not a council call. We'll get with the council after this, but these meeting times, and I'll get to the specifics in a second, will be country and what we all want to do and talk about and do as a country. But we'll be doing our own promos. I'd love to do as many as we can worldwide, so we'll have to see. But again, where we don't have the CBD and other things, then we'll have to do our own. I've got a really fun one I'm looking on for next month that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. I'd love to do some incentives. I think we've been missing out on that, and we're just plugging away with some really cool things that through the years we've talked about doing, but we've just never got to it. So, but I think some super fun incentives to kind of get everybody going, get everybody excited, and we've got some fun things to maybe give away would be cool. And then also recognition. We'll go through and start with our own recognition program and just highlight these distributors. We've got a lot of people who work hard. We've got several people there with amazing, beautiful cars. And we want to do, Dad was talking just yesterday and doing Portrait of a Winner, and every month truly talking about one of our leaders or maybe a rookie who's coming in and just blowing everything apart. So we've got some fun ideas, and we want you guys to add to that. What do you guys see missing, or what have you had in the past that you like, you feel like we're, you know, you'd like to see us add that would really help? Like I say, opportunity calls once a month as well, you know, getting people there to just talk about getting in this business, and not a lot of training, not a lot of overload on all that, just kind of just a lot of fun, and with the leaders doing that. So one thing too, like I say, this will be our new call. And I do want to apologize. It's been an uphill battle, especially technically for me. And I appreciate you guys and your patience in that. I've had a couple calls go up. I've had the wrong time. I've had links that didn't work. And I do have an assistant that's coming on, and she's going to be helping me with my calendar. We'll be putting that out early so that you guys can count on it. And but this will be the new call of our country call. Like I said, I want to thank Jenny Lovett for graciously giving up this time. I would love everyone's feedback, every distributor's feedback of this, if this works for you guys. 2 weeks from today, we will have our second call. I'm going to need 2 weeks to truly organize the calendar. I'll announce that on that 2 weeks from now. Again, that has nothing to do with the council member. So 2 weeks from now, the best thing to do is go to the Facebook page, and we'll regularly make sure that we get the announcements. And the assistant that I've got coming on Monday, she's going to every day make sure that something goes up that reminds or announces something for Australia and New Zealand. But like I say, I know I've had my fair share of mistakes in getting the information out and the links. So I really want to tell everybody how much I appreciate that. I want to ask everyone for some positivity in the future. I know you guys have truly just been patient, as like I said, we've kind of gone through the ups and downs with the Australia, New Zealand market, and some of the different things that you guys have had to go through. We're working hard. You guys are great. I think we've done a lot already, but like Tom Senior said, we're looking, you know, we're not satisfied with shipping. You know, we're not satisfied with a lot of other things that we have right now. Exchange rate we're working on, and many other things that you guys would be surprised that, you know, we really want to get to the point where everything, it's fair. Our distributors can do business there. And some things we cannot, we don't have a lot of wiggle room, and we'll explain where those are. And in those instances, I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate just us working together in a very professional way, treating each other with respect. I promise to give that to you, and I expect and appreciate that from you guys as well. And everybody's just been great. I really want to tell you that, like I say, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to have issues that pop up. And when we do, you know, let's just communicate and make the changes that we need to make, and then go forward. One thing, analogies, I'm an analogy person. And, you know, as I was talking to Doc Fizz the other night, you know, I know sometimes it may seem like nothing's going on, but, you know, it's like that duck that paddles underwater, and you know, as you just see the duck just gliding along, but the feet's going 100 miles an hour, or, you know, just that big boat that turns, and it just takes forever. But down in the machine room, everyone's doing, you know, it's just madness down there as everyone does their job to turn that ship around and do the things we need to do. And that's what we're doing right now. And in the machine room, trust me, everyone is crazy busy doing their job to make sure that we turn this big ship around, get the direction that we need to go, and do the things that we need to do, so that when you guys sign up someone, do your business, it's as easy as possible. There's not a lot of bumps. It's not hard. You don't have to overcome something along that way. That's what we want, a turnkey system that makes it very easy for you guys to do what you need to do. And that's what I appreciate your guys' help with. I wanted to tell Dad, thank you for joining us. I didn't think he'd be here. And it was a lot of fun having him. And like I say, he works every day, and he's got the passion and love for this market as I do and as Tom does, and Thomas and everybody there. So with that, I'm going to end the call. I do understand that not everybody goes on Facebook or Instagram. So I'm getting as many people as I can on my email blasts. I added a ton just this last week, but we can do our own WhatsApp call during the week for Australia, as we just do announcements that you guys can call into. But you know, let's get something to where, in fact, Dad and I were talking about this yesterday, what's the best place that we can just give instant updates that people can get to. And your input to there is absolutely crucial. So this is a great call. We got a lot of great people on here, and I appreciate everybody's support. And with that, you guys have a great weekend, and thank you.